as many of you may well know, it is currently Pride Month. And to do a little something on the channel to note that, I'm going to be doing some poetry reading. I've wanted to do more like poetry and other like short story readings, but I've been focusing more on like finishing Hobbit, but we're going to take a break from that today and read some of the, well, actually all of that we have of the poetry of Sappho. Sappho was a poet in the 7th century BC from the island of Lesbos. Lesbos is an island off the coast of Anatolia. It was part of kind of like within the Greek sphere of influence. She was considered to be one of the, even in her time, was considered to be one of the greatest poets, and is one of the most famous of the ancient poets, only surpassed by like Homer and his peers. So yeah, but she's the word. Her poetry is most notable for very focused on women and her love for women, and it's because of that things that are related to women loving women are called sapphic from Sappho, and women who like women, that's where the word lesbian comes from her home of Lesbos. But yeah, so she was this poet in ancient Greece who couldn't function whenever she saw girls, so she had to write some poetry about it, and honestly, relatable. I too really like girls. So, I'm using the translation. It's translated by Julia Dubnoff. I have different preferences for the translation of like pretty much every poem. Like I like a different translator's version, but Julie Dubnoff's was just the easiest I could find to print out quickly for this, so we're going with hers. We'll be starting out with the full poems, and then we'll move on to the fragments. Number 1. Immortal Aphrodite, on your intricately brocaded throne, child of Zeus, weaver of wiles, this I pray. Dear lady, don't crush my heart with pain and sorrows, but come here, if ever before, when you heard my far-off cry, you listened, and you came, leaving your father's house, yoking your chariot of gold. Then beautiful swift sparrows led you over black earth, from the sky through the middle air, whirring their wings into a blur. Rapidly they came, and you, O blessed goddess, a smile on your immortal face, asked what I happened in this time. Why did I come call again? And what did I especially desire for myself with a frenzied heart? Who this time am I to persuade to your love, Sappho? Who is doing you wrong? For even if she flees, soon shall she pursue, and if she refuses gifts, soon she shall give them. If she doesn't love you, soon she shall love, even if she's unwilling. Come to me now once again and release me from grueling anxiety. All that my heart longs for, fulfill, and be yourself my ally in love's battle. Poem 16. Some say an army of horsemen, some of foot soldiers, some of ships, is the fairest thing on the black earth, but I say, it is what one loves. It is very easy to make this clear to everyone, for Helen, by far surpassing mortals in beauty, left the best of all husbands, and sailed to Troy, mindful of neither her child nor her dear parents, but with one glimpse she was seduced by. Aphrodite, for easily bent and nimbly, has reminded me now of Anacotra, who is not here. I would much prefer to see the lovely way she walks and the radiant glance of her face than the war chariots of the Lydians or their foot soldiers in arms. Poem 31. That man to me seems equal to the gods. The man who sits opposite you and close by listens to your sweet voice and your enticing laughter that has indeed stirred up the heart in my breast. For whenever I look at you even briefly, I can no longer say a single thing, but my tongue is frozen in silence. Instantly a delicate flame runs beneath my skin. With my eyes I see nothing, and my ears make a whirring noise. A cold sweat covers me, trembling seizes my body, and I am greener than grass, lacking but a little of death do I seem. And now we're moving on to the fragments. A lot of the complete poems we don't have anymore because, it was 2,500 years ago, or over 2,500 years ago, and things get lost. As well as historical revisionism, through the Middle Ages and all that, because it turns out, Christianity wasn't too hot on the huge gay lesbian poet thing. But yeah. So these are just the fragments. Come now, luxuriant graces and beautiful haired muses. I tell you, someone will remember us in the future. Now I shall sing these songs beautifully for my companions. The moon shone full, and when the maidens stood around the altar, he is dying, Aphrodite. Luxuriant Adronis is dying. What shall we do? Beat your breasts, young maidens, and tear your garments in grief. Oh, weep for Adonis. But come, dear companions, for day is near. The moon is set, and the Pleiades, it's the middle of night. Time passes, but I sleep alone. I love the sensual. For me this, and love for the sun, has shared a brilliance and beauty. I desire, and I crave. You set me on fire. A servant of wile-weaving Aphrodite. Eros, giver of pain. Eros, coming from heaven, throwing off his purple cloak. Again, love, the limb loosener, rattles me, bittersweet, irresistible, a crawling beast. As a wind in the mountains assaults an oak, love shook my breast. I loved you, Athos, long ago, even when you seemed to me a small, graceless child. But you hate the very thought of me at this, and you flutter after Andromeda. Honestly, I wish I were dead. Weeping many tears, she left me and said, "Alas, how terribly we suffer, Sappho. I really leave you against my will." And I answered, "Farewell, go and remember me. You know how we cared for you. If not, I would remind you of our wonderful times. For by my side you put on many wreaths of roses and garlands of flowers around your soft neck, and with precious and royal perfume you anoint yourself. On soft beds you satisfied your passion. And there was no dance, no holy place, from which we were absent. They say that Leda once found an egg, like a hyacinth. Virginity, virginity, where will you go when you've left me? I'll never come back to you, bride. I'll never come back to you. Sweet mother, I cannot do my weaving. Aphrodite has crushed me with a desire for a tender youth. I prefer the more simple translation of, "Sweet mother, I cannot weave, for Aphrodite has instilled me with longing for a girl." Like a sweet apple turning red, high on the tip of the topmost branch, forgotten by pickers, not forgotten, they could not reach it. Like a hyacinth in the mountains that shepherds crush underfoot, even on the ground, a purple flower. To what shall I compare you, dear bridegroom? To a slender shoot I most liken you. Raise the high rooftops, carpenter. Hymenaeon, sing the wedding song. Up with them. Hymenaeon, sing the wedding song. Bridegroom taller than Ares. Hymenaeon, sing the wedding song. Taller than a tall man. Hymenaeon, sing the wedding song. Superior as the singer of Lesbos. Hymenaeon, sing the wedding song to poets of other lands. Hymenaeon. Cyprus. The herald Idios came, a swift messenger, and the rest of Asia, unwilting glory. Hector and his companions led the dark-eyed, luxuriant Andromache from the holy Thebes and Plachaea in ships upon the salty sea. Many golden bracelets and purple robes, intricately worked ornaments, countless silver cups and ivory. Thus he spoke, and his dear father quickly leapt up, and the story went to his friends to the small broad city. And the Trojans drawing mules to the smooth-running carriages, and the whole band of women and maidens got on. Separately, the daughters of Priam and the unmarried men led horses beneath the chariots and greatly charioteers, like gods, holy, set forth into Troy. And the sweet song of the flute mixed, and the sound of the cymbals, and then the maidens sang in clear tones a sacred song, and divinely sweet echo reached the sky, and everywhere through the streets, mixing bowls and cups, and myrrh and cassia and frankincense were mingled. and the older women wailed aloud, and all the men gave forth a high-pitched song, calling on Apollo, the far-shooter, skilled in the lyre, and they sang of Hector and Andromache like to the gods. Blessed bridegroom, the marriage is accomplished as you prayed. You have the maiden you prayed for. I don't know what to do. I am of two minds. For gold is Zeus's child. I have a beautiful daughter, like a golden flower, my beloved Cleis. I would not trade her for all of Lydia nor Lovely. When you lie dead, no one will remember you, for you have no share in the muse's roses, no flitting aimlessly about. You will wildly roam, a shade amidst the shadowy dead. Death is an evil. That's what the gods think. Or they would die. Because you are dear to me, marry a younger woman. I dare not live with a young man. I'm older. And that's about it. All that I might have accidentally got an incomplete list, but that's pretty much all we know from Sappho. There's a few more like very short fragments that are just like a few like words and like not even full like sentences or clauses. My favorite that is literally just the word Artemis. But yeah, no. It's very simple poetry, especially from like modern standards, and it obviously translations like it's a translation from ancient Greek, so a lot of the meter and rhyme has been lost. But honestly, ancient poetry, not my specialty. I'm more in the early modern and Victorian era. That's more my specialty when it comes to like poetry analysis and whatnot. But I really appreciate the simplicity of them all and the kind of romanticized notion of this woman in ancient Greece just pining after women and whatnot. And yeah, it's really nice. It's also just one of those nice things that like to see that like it's one of those things that's like definitive proof that like gay people and specifically lesbians have been around. We've been here forever. Like it's not this recent thing like a lot of people might claim or like led to believe that it was this recent thing that has like popped up but it was there ages ago. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I wasn't planning a speech or anything. I just thought it'd be something nice to do, especially with like Pride Month going on and whatnot. And that all said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep. And may your stories smile upon you.